What's up, guys? We're back with another episode of High Above Courtside. I'm Anthony, and that's Steve, coming off a 5-game gentleman sweep of the Orlando Magic. Vibes are high, sun shining in Boston, and we're on to round 2. What's going on, Steve?
I just watched a masterful belt-to-ass textbook whipping of the Magic. Tatum, an absolute phenom right now. Back-to-back 35-plus games. It's great to be done with these guys. I kind of want to go back. I want to renege on what I was saying before. I wish we were playing Atlanta because what we just did with Orlando, the grueling physicality it had on us overall was really tough. Now I know Orlando can't score, so that kind of kept us real close and everything. But it's a great tune-up game, as I said previous pods, that for us to face other playoff teams. But man, that was grueling. And I also posted last night during the game up to halftime. I don't think I've seen a team committed to a game plan that deliberately in a long time, since the second half of the OKC game earlier this year, until they decided to double team with Batase on the floor, and then It was floodgates open and threes came through. But before we go any further, I just want to give a little shout out to AJ Tony Jr. Tony is a dad now, so give it up for him.
Big dad energy over here.
That's why we haven't had a pod in a bit. So
got to watch my first Tatum takeover with my son, and it was special. It was awesome. I loved every second of it.
Yeah, love my nephew. So big shout out to that. But what were your takeaways on this game?
So before we get into obviously some of JT's numbers and some Celtics numbers, I do, like you said, I want to shout out the Magic. I mean, the Magic, give them credit, like you said, unbelievable game plan to take away the threes. Jamal Mosley, great coach. I respect him. He's feisty. He got into it with players on the court, but he had those guys ready to go every game. And even game 5, but it got away from him because of the Paolo foul trouble. But they were awesome in the first half, and there was no quitting that team. And, I mean, if they can get some more shooting, those guys have a bright future. They have personnel to not just shut down a team like the Celtics, but they can play different styles. They're big, they're physical, they're fast, they're athletic. They just can't shoot. And that's a problem. That's not the worst problem to have when you have a young roster, because there's so much good shooting in the NBA that it feels like Orlando can go draft it, sign it, trade for it, and really improve their team next year.
Plus, they have Suggs on the bench too, who's not the most prolific scorer, but he adds so much to this team.
Suggs and Mo Wagner, who's a good scorer off the bench, who was kind of their version of Peyton Pritchard. And I mean, I kind of like everybody on that roster outside of the Jokic bus rider, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. Keep doing what you're doing, my brother, because apparently it's working, which is what he said after game 1. I don't know what his final numbers were, but that guy stinks. And people gave the Nuggets a lot of crap for letting him walk, but I don't know. Nuggets are up 3-2 now. I don't know that they'd be any better with him. I think Christian Brown's better than him now. That's pretty clear. And I'm glad to be done with KCP.
I'll give you KCP's numbers real quick. 5 points, 3 rebounds, 1.8 assists, 1.4 steals, 26.7 from the field, 26.1 from 3, 39.4 true shooting percentage. Gross.
They signed that guy to be a shooter for them, and he's not a shooter for them. So, people retire in Florida, and I think that's kind of the vibe KCP was going for. He's family down there. Kids probably going to Disney all the time, and good for him. I'm happy for him.
I love that.
Let's dive into playoff Tatum. Who I'm exclusively going to refer to him as playoff Tatum from now on, because he's probably, he's got to be a top 5 playoff performer in the NBA now. If not, to be honest with you, number 1. His first round numbers, here we go. 31.3 points per game, 11.3 rebounds, 5.3 assists, 1.5 steals on 61% true shooting. Which, is just absolutely absurd. He has the wrist injury in game 1. He's doing the wrist celly, which I love, and he just dominated that series. He was I think he was a plus 21 for the series.
Unreal.
They lost the minutes that he was off the court. There's not much else you can say about this guy. I'm not sure how anybody can still try to say he's not a playoff performer. He has 5 times the number of great playoff games than playoff Jimmy does. So, let's call him what he is. He's playoff Tatum, and you know what you're going to get from this guy in the playoffs. He's going to dominate. Even when he's not shooting, he's going to dominate. And this is a series that he shot the ball well, and the proof's in the pudding there. He absolutely dominated the series.
I could agree more with you. Everyone knows I'm a Tatum stan, so I'm all for that glazing right there. He missed a game in this, and he still led the Celtics in points, 125, rebounds, 45, and made free throws, 37. Unreal free throw shooting, by the way. That was
crazy. 35.
I just had hot eyes every time it went in. Just unreal.
He's the first player in NBA history to hit 10 to be perfect from the line while shooting 10 or more free throws in 3 straight playoff games. Only player to ever do that in NBA history. I'd say that's good. I'd say that's good.
Another stat I'd say is good is Tatum finished with 45 isolation points in the first round. That is 7 more than any other player. That's 11.3 per game. Luka is second at 9.5. Just reiterating what you're saying. He's unreal in the playoffs. His floor is so much higher than anyone else's floor, maybe besides like prime LeBron. He's doing everything you want to do. He's a Swiss Army knife. He had double games of 14 rebounds. He's got the 10 assists. He's got 35 plus in 3 games. Just absolutely phenomenal. And you could see it, right? He saw the same defensive scheme matchup for 4 games for him, 5 overall for the series. And he's like, all right, now I know what to do. And just as a computer, started dissecting them. And that's when you saw the assist totals go up. Absolutely loved everything he brought to this team. Is he having like a rookie of the year style, like wrist injury? You remember in that movie where the kid fell and all of a sudden his
he's like, super strength now.
It helped his shot because that first game he was going, with the lower shooting percentages. So it's nice to see that those shooting percentages, and that's what I mean. Like if Tatum has a whistle when he's having 10 plus free throws, stuff like that, I think if he has a superstar whistle next year, he could average 30 points easily.
I mean,
also his shot diet has changed a lot during the playoffs. He didn't take a 3 that first half at all. And we'll get into the shooting.
And some of the I really like the way he's attacking on the isolations and kind of getting into that mid-range game that he didn't shoot a high percentage of during the regular season, but he's got it in his bag and he can get to that mid-range and do like the little Dirk one-legged step back and hit that at a high level. He hits you with he'll hit you with the step back and counter that and then do a step through for a layup. And it's like, he's just got it all. And he's a lead on the defensive end. He's finding open guys. It's just, and credit to the Magic and why I feel great about going forward this postseason, because the Magic have elite ISO defenders. I mean, even Wendell Carter Jr. is pretty good at moving his feet, and they were comfortable leaving him on an island with Tatum. And he just cooked it over and over. And if we're looking ahead to the Knicks or the Pistons or the Cavs, like, I'm sorry, Tim Hardaway Jr. and Tobias Harris next round, or Mikal Bridges or Brunson or Cat or even OG, like, get out of here. And then you get to Cleveland, and it's Cleveland even worse. I mean, we've seen, Defensive Player of the Year, Evan Mobley, great player, cannot guard Tatum in space. Jared Allen probably can't be on the court against Celtics. And then they got little guys out there. So it's going to take a lot for these teams to slow him down. And it just feels like he's hitting that alpha prime. Like, I know I'm the best player on the court. I know you guys can't guard me, and I'm going to take over every single game. And, it's amazing to see.
He's at the early stages of the prime, and it's been building to this, and it's absolutely wonderful to see. Don't forget Garland over there that Cleveland has kind of going through a toe injury right now, so maybe he can't be as quick as he'd like to be on the defensive side. I mean, no other team besides maybe OKC has this game plan and the personnel to execute it. So that's why, again, when people say, oh, have the Magic proven that like there's a way to beat the Celtics, that's been the same way for the last 5 years. Just people can't do it. They can't replicate that. And either you have the amazing defense and no offense like the Magic, or you have it all, the whole package in OKC. But that's two fucking teams. I don't see anyone else being able to do that. And not just like what Tatum was doing ISO wise, but like with bigger defenders. Usually like you're like, oh, he can't really get by that guy, or he's like too big. Paolo is 6'10", 260. And he was bumping him, getting to that Dirk, as you were saying. He was getting to the hole. And if there's a smaller guy, he just rides right above, or he bully balls them. The bully balling is unreal. And I understand people get frustrated with Tatum's threes and, shot selection sometimes. But in the playoffs, it's an absolute different shot diet, and he is dominating going to the hole.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, you just don't know ball if you don't like some of those step back threes, because every single ISO is set up on the fact that he might shoot a step back. And when he gets the big on him, he gets fouled shooting it. They're up. They have to be up on him, and that creates his advantage to get by them. It's just like, I don't care if he goes over 5 in a game, because he's probably driving it 15 to 20 times and getting good looks every time, or creating open looks for other guys. So, I mean, that's just, people got to get over that. And now you have the formula of, all right, a team took away the 3, and the Celtics won in 5 games. So this isn't just...
What do you know? We know how to win it another way.
Turns out they adapt, and Missoula ball is not just about threes. It's about getting the best shot.
Exactly.
Which is what they did in this series. And the thing about Orlando, finding out the formula, right, they have one of the only teams with the personnel to do it. Also, I don't know that that's the right formula. Like, because you eliminate the variance aspect of the three-pointer. Like, I think a way to beat the Celtics is to kind of, especially if you're a team with a little less talent, is to hope they take 50 threes and they make 10 of them. Yeah. Because that's kind of your chance to win. Orlando, the only chance they had in the series was the Celtics turning the ball over at a rate that,
and not
far higher
offensive
rate than
rebound.
They ever do. And that's like super controllable, where like you can slow down. Their half-court offense was elite the whole series. Mm-hmm. So it's like, sure, did they give you a formula? I guess. But, I mean, there's other formulas like, going back 2 years when the Heat, it felt like a shooting variant series, where it was just I remember Horford that year could not buy a 3. It was just, so it's not a perfect scenario either way. And, I mean, if other teams try that, like we said, they don't have the perimeter defenders that the Magic have, that it's just, like, if you're going to switch everything and you're the Cavs, and you're going to put Darius Garland or Jared Allen on an island with the Jays all game, it's over. I mean, the Knicks, I'm sorry, I'd almost rather the Knicks next round, because they just have too many horrendous defenders. They have 3 guys who literally can't play on one end in that series. One being Campaign, who's kind of important off the bench for them. So it's like, it's good to be us. It's good to have elite wing players like this.
Just to cap off the Tatum playoff riser, Jayson Tatum in the last 5 playoff series versus Orlando, 31, 11-5, 1-5. Versus Dallas, 22, 7-7, 1-5. Indy, 30, 10-6, 1-4. Cleveland, 26, 10-6, 1-5. Miami, 21, 10-5, 1-5. Wow.
Dominant. Not much else you could say.
No, 12 more. That's what we could say.
12 more. I want to get into JB a little bit. I thought JB was a little bit, especially in Game 5 and Game 4, he had a little bit of a tough start in the first half, missed some bunnies. Mm-hmm. But dude is a warrior. He sticks with it all the time. He knows when to bring the energy and what's needed in a game. And you saw that in the third quarter. He came out aggressive in Game 5 especially, and kind of set that tone. In Game 4, he did it on the defensive end, and it was like he was up in Paolo's grill. He was making it tough, ball pressure. I mean, this is a guy, like, when you talk about 16-game players, Jaylen Brown's a 16-game player. That's a guy you want to go to war with. You want him in the playoffs. He'll do whatever it takes to win a playoff game. And this series was just another reminder of who he is in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, for the series, 23 points, 7.6 rebounds, 2.4 assists, 1.2 steals, 49.4% from the field, 44.4 from 3, 84.4 from the free throw line. That's amazing. A little high in the turnovers, but I mean, the guy's dealing with so much. all in 35.8 minutes. He's putting up serious minutes. And like you said, he kind of gets a little slow to start the game. Then he finds his groove. He takes over. He's the one who really shifted the energy in that again in the second half, especially picking up those fouls on Paolo. Without him, I mean, where would we be?
Right. Agreed. I don't know if I have the numbers in front of me, but they showed it last night on the Boston broadcast, which we're getting into another guy now, but Al Horford. Don't know what else you can say about this guy. I think he had the lowest field goal percentage while defending in the playoffs so far. I think second is Rudy Gobert. Like, this guy's 38. He's still just completely elite on the defensive end. And he's not out there playing stiffs. He's guarding Paolo and Franz, who are, pretty elite wing players. Mm-hmm. And they're both, 24 and 23 or 23 and 22. Like, this guy's 15 years older than him. He's absolutely dominant on that end. And it's incredible to watch. And it's incredibly important for this team.
Yeah, you got to throw the box score out with Al. He just does so much more intangibles than, putting up points or, grabbing a whole bunch of rebounds. He had a stat the other day, the game previous, with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the only guy is 38 plus with 5 blocks in a playoff game.
I mean, he was
absolutely
awesome
unreal. He guards a yard. He gives you that flexibility to switch, especially, and we'll get into KP a little bit later when he's getting dusted by Franz. So it's just, I don't know, man. I think we're just Al Horford merchants a little bit, even though everyone's playing amazing.
We are.
Ever since he came back into the fold, it's just been amazing to see. I hope he never retires.
I have nightmares of Al Horford not being on the basketball team. It's just, I don't want to know a world where that doesn't exist. It makes me
I'm going to
sad.
cry when 42 goes to the rafters.
I am going to cry when 42 goes to the rafters. Dude is unbelievable. You want to touch on the big Latvian?
Oh, jeez. All right, 1 second. Let me get
the
his.
Big Latvian.
I'm just not really like. He's just a bus rider right now, and it's kind of pissing me off. In this round, 12 points per game, 35.2% from the field goal, 2 points, 2 for 17 from 3. That's 11.8%. Post-ups, 23 possessions, 14 points, 0.61 points per possession. That's gross. Especially as being one of the best post-up points per possession guy in the league the last 2 years. Just absolutely abysmal. Getting dusted by Franz. Now, let's give Franz some credit. I was not as familiar with his game and his finishing around the hoop. It was top tier. But not just that. KP just he would clog up the space when he was cutting. There would be another guy coming in. His spacing was ass. He couldn't shoot the ball. It kind of just looked like he was out of it in this one. And we could kind of touch it. Look, that's why Al Horford is so amazing. And Luke as well, coming in and finding his own groove. I mean, they were just scoring relentlessly at him at the rim. And that's the one thing you can count on when maybe his shot's not going well. He's been an unreal rim protector for this team over the season. And it just really wasn't there.
Yeah. Porzingis, we talked about JB being a 16-game player. And Porzingis,
he's not. Yeah.
The jury's out, buddy. We didn't see you in the playoffs last year. When you did play, it was against the Miami Heat and Luka. And I'm sorry, you didn't prove anything to me last year, title or not.
Yeah.
This year, it's frankly, it was embarrassing this round for him. I mean, right, the Magic are big and physical and all that, but he could not hit a shot over Corey Joseph.
Corey Joseph
is 35 and should not even be in the league, quite frankly. And he's defending you like that.
He didn't score once against him in this last game.
But it's like, I mean, I don't need perfection from you, but I need you to be a man. I need you to be able to be physical. You're 7'3". Be physical. Take your time. You can get deep post position. You don't need to stand around the foul line. It feels like he plays a regular season game in the playoffs where he's just looking for that call all the time, and you're not gonna get it. It's the playoffs. It's time to put your ass on the guy, put him under the basket, and dunk on him, and that's what the great ones do. And he just hasn't figured out that that playoff physicality and that feel around the rim in the playoffs when a guys are allowed to be a little more physical with them.
Yeah.
It's just it can't happen. And granted, it's going to get better, I think. Maybe not against the Pistons, but if they get the Knicks in the next round, I think he'll dominate.
Yeah.
But it worries me that when you get to OKC or even Cleveland, and it's like we need you, because like Cleveland, in theory, there's some matchups he can really exploit. But Cleveland's such an elite offensive team that series, we don't need him to just exploit mismatches. We need his offense. We need him to shoot the three ball well. We need him to play efficient offense. We don't need you to, try to look for calls and play a regular season style.
Yeah. I mean, he didn't even play in the fourth quarter. He got benched. He couldn't score.
And I noted this last night when that avalanche came in the third. KP was not on the floor, and Luke was, Al was. It was, I think that the avalanche was coming either way with Paolo out of the game.
Yeah. But
he just feels like a guy that teams aren't scared to go at a little bit, especially Paolo and Franz, who are a bit bigger and can kind of, they can get a little quickness on them. But sometimes it seems like when he's in the game, it's like they force feed him, and it's like we got to get the big guy on a mismatch. When it's like just play through the flow of the offense. I don't care if Corey Joseph's on him, because I know that there's two other guys on the floor that can probably beat their matchup too. So, they get a bit predictable when he's out there.
No, for sure. Also, like, it was so much better when he was coming off those screens, like going right to the hoop. The previous game, he had like 2 dunks, a layup, another dunk. He was just like, when he's attacking and he doesn't have to be at the free throw line, it's so much better for our team, because then they have to collapse. I know they don't. Orlando doesn't want to come from the shooters, but they have to collapse on him eventually, because they have the Corey Josephs, they have the Gary Harris. Like, what is going on here with him? I don't really understand why he's missing these 5 to 9 footers. It makes no sense. I understand he's going for like some of the contact, but my man, use the glass. Just do anything else than
I had to
what
use
you're
the
doing.
glass last night, and he airballed it off. He smacked it off the glass, and it didn't even hit rim. It was like
yeah.
And that's why it just feels like some of the physicalities in his head, because we know he's better than this. We know he has
so much better than he's the cheat code.
So it's like, it's not just that he's off because it's 5 games now. Like, there's something mentally that the physicality is affecting him, where he's not his normal self around the rim. And the other thing I'm getting sick of is the the almost half court threes. We're not playing. This isn't the Wizards in March. Like, we don't need those shots, especially when you haven't hit one all series. Stop it. You have Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown on the court. Like, I'm sorry, I don't want you taking those shots unless you're 4 for 4 from 3 and you're feeling it, and it's like, okay, fine, but you haven't been all series, so stop it. We don't need
and they're somewhat contested as well. You're not butt naked out there, you know what I mean? And like, the only one really could take that shot is Pritchard. As you saw last night, he took that 35-footer and he drained that shit.
Yeah. It was fun to watch the Avalanche in the third quarter. It was
we were waiting for it. Just all series, and all of a sudden, bang. Just like, and that's another thing. Even though like we've been playing in the mud with Orlando, our offensive rating, defensive rating is all high up there as well. It's just been ugly to watch because it's very physical and the threes aren't popping. So everything's to the hoop, everything's free throws. Like, it just wasn't the prettiest. But going back to Missoula ball, I'm finding the best shot, and the defense collapsing was it was great to see. I was so happy, because I'm not gonna lie, I was sweating a little bit. I was like, these motherfuckers, dude, they can't box out. They can't. They can't do anything you want them to hold on to the ball, and that's what you said this at the beginning of the pod. It's all internal like things. Like, we forced all those errors on ourselves. Like, that Magic is great at turning the ball over, but like, we were doing that more on ourselves. Bad entry passes, shitty passes in general. It wasn't anything really that they were doing per se that was getting us off our spot.
Right. What are your thoughts on Peyton Pritchard?
Peyton Pritchard, dude, his defense is such a pleasant surprise in the playoffs. Last year, Yeah, it's just he couldn't play last year really, and he dedicated over the offseason, all season, to be able to have that sturdy base to take those big guys, just stoning Powell. Just stoning him was crazy. And if it's like it's very subtle and nuanced. If you ever see Al or Drew, they have that lead like leg up and they kind of don't let it stop. So like when you're backing down, you're just like hitting that leg. It's not like you're taking in the chest. It's a little bit of illegal move, but like in the playoffs they let that go. He was just absolutely unreal. He wasn't really shooting the ball particularly well in some of these games, but what he brought to you in pace and spacing and just it sounds terrible, but like just dog attitude, it was great.
Yeah.
Like we needed it. We needed that spark, especially in like the first half of this game, dude. We were just in mud. It was much needed for Peyton to come into this game and give us what we needed.
Right. I'm trying to find the final defensive stats, but he did an unbelievable job guarding Paulo and Franz for a guy who's 6'2" against two moose out there. Is that how you say what's plural for moose? Meese?
Nah, I think they're just moose.
Anyway, he just I mean this is what we talked about before the playoffs. Like, can he be a guy that you can play in these? And last year and the year before, he really wasn't. It was very matchup based. And with Drew out, he did an unbelievable job because he didn't score this series really until basically end of third quarter, fourth quarter last night. But his ability to get into guys' handles, be strong at the point of attack, it's insane the leaps he's made. It's almost more surprising to me the leaps he's made defensively than the ones he made offensively to get Sixth Man of the Year. Like,
yeah, that's what Joe always says. He's like,
we
it's
all
more than
knew
shooting.
that he could be that kind of elite offensive weapon, but no one thought he could be, a guy who could hold up against Paulo and Franz in a playoff series, and he did. So it's exciting to see him, see what he can do going forward against the Jalen Brunsons and the Garland and Mitchells of the world, and can he be a guy that, because you're going to need their offense against these teams, these more high-powered offense. So you need to have him out there, especially we'll see what's going on with Drew, but man, like he was incredible.
He really was. And he was hot, the first two games, 19 points, 14 points. Then they shut the water off him on a little bit. And he was still able to be a factor without scoring. And that's what we really need to do, because sometimes that's how it goes in the playoffs. It's going to be more dominant for JT, for JB, Drew when he's healthy, KP because we keep forcing him the fucking ball. But he does exactly what you want to do. It's just the spacing that he provides gives our guys so much more room. And then the Nash dribble, where he's able to penetrate, survey, keep it going. You see, there was a play last night with he did the Nash dribble. He went over to the bottom right with a corner with Luke, and then they rescreened, just dropped it over to Luke again, just like the two-man game that he has and the rapport he has with everyone. It's really good to see, especially when Drew is out and we need that extra guy.
Agreed. A little bit worried about Drew. I'm hoping with the time off, I'm hoping it was more a precautionary thing, that it was like they kind of knew they could beat the Magic without him. And like Drew's going to be so vital against, not so much the Knicks, but definitely against Cleveland and definitely whoever you get if you make the finals.
Agreed.
So I really hope there's good news on that. I mean, that's why I'm rooting for, you got to root for another Pistons win and force a Game 7, and then that Game 1 won't be till Monday or Tuesday, I guess. Because if there's a Game 7, it'll be Saturday, Knicks Pistons.
First game's Monday.
What's that?
First game is Monday.
No matter what?
No matter what, the 5th.
Oh, cool. All right.
Yeah, so it's like Monday, Wednesday, and then it goes.
So you got another 7 days for Drew, which is huge. I mean, it's huge to wrap the series up in 5, and to the national media, can we stop with the Celtics play with their food stuff? Because this team, this Celtics team, because these rosters change all the time. I don't know if people don't realize that for some reason, but this current roster has not played with their food at all. So, I don't know. You turn on the NBC Sports Bostons of the world, they play with their food. What, in 2021? What is
this dusty-ass narrative?
Should we talk about Pierce and KG? What are we doing, dude? This team was 16-3 last year. They're 4-1 this year. They've taken care of
back-to-back 60 games win seasons.
Right. Like, I'm sorry, no offense to these guys, but Marcus Smart and Robert Williams were starting in those teams. Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown were a lot younger. Peyton Pritchard was on the bench. He wasn't even like, these are completely different rosters with completely different players. Stop it. This team takes care of business. It's a joke. It's tired. It's lazy. It's just not factual at this point.
Yeah, just absolute inefficient. Like they don't know ball, and it's really sad because I'm sure these people, if it was the Pats or the Red Sox or maybe the Bruins, they would know more. But they just like the personalities out there just don't know basketball, and it's really sad to see because there's a lot of young minds that they're molding, and
Right.
this is the material that they get. I don't believe in anything the fuck they say. That's why you have all these wonderful podcasts out here that gives you the real analysis, especially us. But to go to Drew, I think they kind of punted on him, and they were like, we could win this series without him. So obviously, if it was like Game 7 of the ECF, like he would come and like play, or at least try to give something. So I think it was great by them to be more on the cautious side and try to just let that hamstring heal. Because what's it take, like 1 to 2 weeks usually, or something like that, for it to be finally healed?
Scary.
Yeah, and it's not any physicality aspect either. It's just Drew's fucking 34. You know what I mean? So like, that shit kind of just happened. It wasn't necessarily anything Orlando did.
Right. You got anything else you wanna dive into?
I really hope Detroit keeps pushing it. It'd be great for Detroit to win a game at home. No, get these fans some.
Right.
Some,
oh yeah, they lost
from the cheer. Yeah.
Please, they gotta win one at home.
Yeah.
I mean, the Knicks. I'm sorry, the Knicks. Like, we can get into it another time, but you people are delusional about Jalen Brunson, and you're completely delusional about your team. Your team largely stinks. Like, I'm sorry, the Pistons, tough team, fun team. They have one good offensive player, one. And
Cat's been shooting unreal though.
Who? Cade?
The Cat has been shooting.
Yeah, Cat. I mean, the Knicks have good individual talent. They're just not a good roster, really. They could have got swept by this Pistons team just as easily as they could have. Like you're lucky the Pistons are young and stupid, quite frankly, and just not ready for the moment at all. And it's still you're forcing a game 6. Like that. It's embarrassing to be honest. I mean, you Tobias Harris, Tim Hardaway Jr. in 2025. We saw Tim Hardaway Jr. last year in for the Mavericks in the finals. He played like 5 minutes a game. This guy's not good. No offense to Tim Hardaway Jr., fine career. He's just not. Knicks fans have this like they're an actual threat. It's just it's banana land.
I mean, it's Cade, and then it's everybody else. And Cade's been playing unreal. So happy for him and his coming out party. Again, his youth and inexperience is why those turnovers are so high. But overall, real happy for him. And like the path forward. Duran is playing unreal too. Poor Malik Beasley, man, made all those threes in the regular season.
Right. I mean, Detroit and Orlando are teams that you look going forward. They're a piece away, both those teams.
Yeah.
And I mean, the piece in Detroit might be Jaden Ivey being hurt. And
I love Jaden Ivey. He's awesome.
And I mean, obviously Orlando has a couple guys injured, but those are teams that, like, if you project them down the road with Milwaukee falling apart, like, no offense to the Knicks, I don't think the Knicks are a long-term threat in the East. Like, I think I'd rather
they got all those pieces for defenders supposed to stop everyone. They don't stop them.
Right. So, those teams got a lot to look forward to.
Yeah.
And shout out Doc Rivers, man. Another feather in the cap last night. That was really something.
Good job, Glenn.
I've never seen.
I'm not calling him Doc no more. He is Glenn from now on.
Teams up 7 with 40 seconds left. Did you see this today? We're 0 and 1,600 in the history of the NBA. And Glenn Rivers got the one. I mean, someone had to do it eventually, and it was so obvious it would be.
Of course, it's Glenn.
Insane, and like it was just too perfect with like Gary Trent Jr. hitting 4 threes in overtime and still lose. Like it just
right through his legs. Oh my goodness,
crazy, dude. Just absolutely. But shout out to those Pacers, man. Cavs, that's gonna be a tough series, Cleveland. Darius Garland better be right because those boys are legit and they know how to win now. They got legit playoff experience. I'm looking forward to that series.
Yeah, I can't believe Halliburton also got that layup over Giannis as well, and then the whole fiasco afterwards with Hallie's dad just
Yeah.
taunting Giannis
People
like
don't
that.
people don't talk about um, Halliburton being one of the clutchest players in the league. I mean, that dude,
Yeah, he's pretty solid.
he comes through always. Like he is. There's not many guys in the league I don't want to see with the ball in their hand
The
late in the
threes
game.
he was draining on us last
Yeah, he
last
did it
playoffs was crazy.
right. He's a dog, man. He's a player. That whole I love that whole roster.
Yeah. One more thing. You think Ant packs those boys up in LA?
I don't know. I think the Lakers probably win another game. I get too much respect for Braun. I get too much respect for him. But man, Luka, you stink, dude. Like it was so bad at the end of that game. It was so bad. He let up. He fouled Ant on three, smacked him right in the arm, and then I don't know if it was the possession after, where he just was in no man's land again, and Naz Reid wide open three knocks it down. It's just like, I mean, this is what you get with him, man. He's closer to like the 10th or 11th best player in the league than he is to the first best player. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I heard Jeff
He's
Teague
great.
say he was like 8th or something like that, and I think that's respectable because
Yeah.
he's such a black hole on defense.
7 to 10.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. His offense is amazing. It's top tier, but his defense just brings him down so much. And I don't know, people saying, "Oh, Nico trading him is going to light a fire on his ass. Him losing in the finals is going to light a fire in his ass. Taking the beer away from him is going to light a fire in his ass." This dude just does not give a fuck. He's just not giving any effort on defense.
And he's not that good of an athlete to boot. You know what I mean? He's not conditioned well enough, and he's not that good of an athlete. Where it's there was another one late in that game where he got like a steal or some sort of fast break, and he just like couldn't elevate. He just missed the layup. Like he had a couple guys in his face, and it's like, I don't know. The athletic guys are dunking that thing, or at least getting to the line, and it's just good for Lakers fans. I'm happy for him.
Couldn't happen to a better fan base.
But like, subscribe, give us a shout out, and tune in soon. We'll be back.
Check us out on Blue Sky. We'll be live posting the game. So if you want to interact, and also maybe we'll get one of our guests coming up from there. So let us know.
Well, we're gonna DM all your asses. All right. All right. We'll talk soon.
Deuces.